So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Ralph Monroe. I'm an enrollment coordinator here with DigitalCrafts. And, as people continue to trickle in, I might do another quick introduction, but also with some instruction. And so this is welcome to the UX Design Instructor Q&A. So if you're here, you have the interest in UX design. And so this time we want to make it a lot about, your questions, give the floor to you and whatever questions that you may have. So at any time, as I give my little spiel first, and then I introduce our instructor, feel free to put your questions in the chat. So that way we can already have that flowing. And then once, I introduce Brittany, your instructor, then she'll be able to answer those questions and we can always look back at them. Okay. Awesome sauce. So let's just go ahead and get started. And those who are here from DigitalCrafts, if I miss anything in the chat, please let me know, because I'm just going to be handling the presentation. So this is what our agenda consists of. And real quick, do anyone else have access to put other people into the room? Okay, let me just admit there's others coming in.
I think you need to make a co-host.
Okay, well, let me do that. Okay, I made you the co-host, if you wouldn't mind helping me out with that. Awesomeness. So once again, thank you for those who just came in. If you have any questions at any time, please put it in the chat as we go forward, and then we'll get to them a little bit later. But first and foremost, today's agenda, I'm gonna introduce DigitalCrafts, then I'm gonna get into some FAQs of that we encounter as enrollment coordinators coming in. Then I'm going to introduce you to your instructor, and then she's going to go into what is UX design, talk about our UX program, and then we're going to open the floor to questions. And so this is definitely your time to ask, and yeah, whatever question you have in your mind, feel free. Awesomeness. So, you're welcome, Theodora. I can see some in the chat. So DigitalCrafts, where we are a technology bootcamp and a training provider. And we are reviewed as one of the best in the country. We offer intensive live instruction, educational experiences for students. Now, everything is virtual, but all of our instructors, all of our classes are taught live. And our mission is to exist to create a community of builders who are equipped with the skills and tools necessary to breathe life into ideas, whether as entrepreneurs or technologicus. I'm fumbling over that word. But we are a community of builders, and we are here to help. And our goal is that you become a builder as well. And so why choose DigitalCrafts? Why us? We always want to put people and students first. So our curriculum has been crafted with beginners in mind. We have free intro courses that you can sign up for on our website. And these are basic foundational courses for you to start before you even begin the program. So if you have no idea about UX, if you have no idea about any of our other programs, these basic free intro courses will get you to that level of foundational understanding before you even begin the class. And we see a good correlation between those who go through the instructional design, go through the intro course, and then those who do really well in the class. Like I said, we combine live instruction with hands-on projects, and which is very effective. And so it's a boot camp. It's very intensive. It's very challenging. It's a big time commitment. But the thing you'll get from it is a lot of hands-on experience. You're going to be putting into practice the things that you have learned. So it helps with that muscle memory, I guess, and classes are taught by instructors with years of real world experience, which is why I'm excited for Brittany today, because you get to hear from her and ask her questions directly. Who else better than to ask the instructor who's going to be teaching the class, and also comes from the industry. And we also have a ton of support beyond the classroom, whether that's career or student student success. Our goal is to help you land that job, and it's a dual partnership. And so a little FAQs that I encounter when it comes to um, our programs for UX design. This is in particular for UX design. What is the cost of tuition? Our base rate is $13,950, but for the this next class, which will be on May 2nd, it is only $10,000. So it's a huge discounted price. And we also have, is there any financial assistance or financing available? There are several ways you can pay for the class. I won't go into a whole bunch of detail because I want a lot of time to be used for the Q&A portion, but you can either pay up front. We do have financing available. We have a third-party lender called Climb Credit that you can choose to lend finance through, and that lender, they are listed on our website. If you go to our website under the resource tab under financing and tuition, there's a user calculator there where you can put in based on different factors, it'll give you an estimated amount of how much your monthly payback would be. So we do have financing option, and we also have a 4 installment payment plan option that you can choose to do, and each payment is 25% of your tuition. And so the first payment would be 2 weeks prior to the class, and then after that, your next payments will follow a schedule. And so if you're interested in the program, once you go through admissions process, the enrollment coordinators will go much deeper into what that process would be. In regards to equipment that you need, a newer computer is preferred. Laptops for recommended laptops for flexibility that already have like a camera and microphone built in. You need to have at least 8 gigabytes of RAM or more, okay? And a Mac OS must be Sierra or later. And Brittany, if you want to give more information to that later, you can. But if you have a Windows, you must have an Windows 8 or later in a 64 gigabyte environment. Okay, and because the instructor uses Mac, and design industry tends to towards the use of Macs. Okay, I know somebody. I thought I heard somebody pop in the room as well. Another person pop in the room as well. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and later on, our instructor will get to those later on. Now, do you have to have any prior knowledge? As I said before, no, you don't have to have any prior knowledge to the UX design program because our program is built on all levels. So if you're truly beginning at the start, we've got stepping stones for you. Like I said, we have free intro courses that you could start. If you're a bit more advanced, there are extensions and opportunities for you to push your skills to that next level. Okay. And so what sort of career support is provided for you during your time at DigitalCrafts during the UX program? You will be building a robust portfolio that the student services will help review and make sure that it is ready for when you apply to different jobs. I did get the chance to sit in our demo days. We have a demo day. So it's like the thing that you will be presenting to your friends and your family and showing off all the awesome work that you did while you were in the class. And I will say that it was awesome. The last class they put together this awesome application of, like, I don't know how you all are, but it was a task application. And I was like, if they had that on the market, I would definitely look into it because it was really good. And so you will be putting it into practice. You will have that portfolio of things you actually worked on. Okay. Same with your resume. We have resume workshops. We have resume career talks. We hold mock interviews. We also have forgot the word, open working days. There it is, open working days. And this is time where you can use to refine any projects that you've done, build out your portfolio. You can use it to schedule mock interviews. You're also able to schedule a one-on-one sessions as well throughout the program. And then even afterwards, the career service support continues with you for the rest of your life. It's like a lifetime kind of guarantee, you know? And so we don't leave you by yourself. We walk with you through the process. The thing we won't do, we won't guarantee a job, we won't look for the job for you, or we won't apply for the job for you. But we do our part as we continue to build up employer relationships and employer networks for our students to have access. And another way we do that is by having virtual career fairs that you will have access to. And so it's a partnership. We do our part, you do your part, and it's going to be really awesomeness. So yes, do we? We'll thank you, Vanya, for your question. I'm gonna let Brittany answer that question because she can get more detail with the equipment stuff too. But with that said, I'm going to introduce you to your instructor. And so Brittany is, if I get your last name wrong, let me know. It's Bellanca. Oh, I got it. Legit. So awesome. Brittany Bellanca, she is a web visual and experience designer with roots in psychology, education, and startups. Okay. And so she strives to craft beautiful, innovative solutions through iterative design thinking. She has enhancing knowledge and collaborating with others is something that energizes her. She believes that we are stronger together. I could tell you just by working with her, she brings a smile to my face. She has like this energetic aurora about her. It's really awesomeness. So she lives in Florida, sunny, which is awesomeness. And she loves to, play games, planners, yoga, and just spend time with her family. And a little bit about her background before I give her the floor over to her. She has a master's in mass communication with specialization in web design and online communication, digital marketing and interactive media technical certificate, Florida educator preparation certification, a bachelor's in science. Her career, she has been a UX design curriculum developer and instructor at DigitalCrafts, as you know, a senior designer with Pompatu Inc., I believe. She's also been a curriculum developer for problem solving in high school, and a host of others that's not listed here. But with that said, I'm going to give the floor to Brittany and let her take it from here and just introduce herself, tell us a little bit more about her, but then we're going to get into the questions. Sounds good, guys? Awesomeness. The floor is yours, Brittany.
Thanks so much, Ralph. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today with us. Like Ralph said, my name is Brittany, and I am the instructor here at DigitalCrafts for the UX design program. We recently finished our first cohort and it was amazing. Our students are very actively applying and receiving job offers, which is fantastic. And, like Ralph said, they ended up making really robust portfolios showing a variety of web, app, product design. So I'm really excited to share a little bit about our program and then also help you understand like what you'll walk away with. So that way you can make the decision if DigitalCrafts is the right environment for you. So Ralph, the next, perfect, thank you. So UX design in general, it's a very hot topic phrase right now. And it stands for user experience design. And what this field does is we create and work with a variety of products, services, and technologies. And what I mean by that, Zoom, what we're on right now, that is a technology, that is a product. Any apps on your phone, those are technology products. It's literally everywhere. This is what we do. And we strive to make those as user friendly and accessible as possible. So UX design is going to focus on interaction. So how we get from point A to point B, and the flows behind those interfaces and those products. So for example, we might work on a button. We might work on what that button looks like, what that button says, and what happens when you click that button. Not only what happens when you click it, but where does it take you? So that's just a small example. Obviously, there are much bigger, more innovative things that UX designers can do, but we also do some fine little detail work as well, and it can really make the difference for a business. Ooh, there we go. So UX design has a really rich history, and it draws upon user research, because why are we using company time and money to build something if people don't want it? Because without people, we don't have products, or hope we can, but they won't be used, and then they're a waste of money. You see how that can be very bad. So it draws upon user research, psychology, specifically cognitive psychology, some color psychology, and visual design to focus on making things that people want. It's very human-centered. We use a lot of human-focused processes, and we involve people while we build these cool things. So if you've ever felt frustrated while using a website or an app or some other piece of software, there's a good chance that they should probably have a talk with their user experience designer or hire one. And that's a really cool thing about the industry, is that these jobs are everywhere right now. And the reason why is because for a long time, a very, very long time, there were not user experience designers. Like, these people didn't exist. Developers and engineers, they would build a cool thing, and then people were just like, it doesn't matter if it's frustrating, I have to use this. But with such a robust market, if the experience is not enjoyable, if it is not engaging, people simply will not use the app or the product or the service anymore. So companies have to have UX designers now in order to make their product the best it can possibly be for the people who will use it. When their product is good and when people like their product, people will use it, people will give businesses money, and businesses are happy and successful. So that's kind of a background on UX in general. Let's talk about some of the careers that are available in this field. So there's the generalist role, that's just a user experience designer. And this person really does it all. They can do user flows, they can do interaction, they can build prototypes. They really are the chef's kiss. Product designers are very, very similar to UX designers, but product designers specifically work on a single piece of technology, or a single part, typically a single part of a piece of technology. So with Zoom, for example, there's many different aspects of Zoom that work together to be the experience that we enjoy. So you may work on the chat functionality and try to improve the chat functionality, or you may work on the bar in Zoom that has like your muting and your video. You may work on user functions type of thing. A UX researcher is someone who is very dedicated to collecting and analyzing research. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of opportunities for user researchers, user experience researchers. And if you have a background in like psychology, that may be a really good fit for you. We also have UI designers, and we haven't talked a lot about UI, but UI stands for user interface. And these people have a little bit more of a visual design background. They utilize like icons and colors. They do maybe brand application. So they do a little bit more of the visual rather than the interaction. A UX engineer is a very specific type of front-end engineer who does work with a user experience mindset and mentality. So they can be like a liaison between the two different departments, or they could work on something like building a design system, which holds all of the building blocks that UX designers could use in their work. And then finally, well, I say finally, there are so many types of jobs. These are just 6 of them. But there's also this field called UX writing, which is literally writing very focused, targeted words, text, content that will help a business or product achieve their goal. So lots and lots of different types, but these are just some that our program will help get you ready to apply for. Most of our students are focusing on UX designer and product designer roles, but depending on your background and where you want to go, we can definitely help get you on the path for any of these. So in the program, we cover so many different topics, and we make sure that you have essential skills and the ability to create many different deliverables so that you are ready and confident to apply for jobs and actually move into the industry. So obviously we need a lot of design thinking because it's very human-centered. It's very focused on what people want and need. We do information architecture, which talks about the big picture and how users will actually move through your product. We do talk about visual design principles because it is important to have an understanding of what design is, how we can create hierarchy, because that can ultimately help dictate how a person moves through a website. We don't have a ton on like making you a really, really good visual designer. That takes a lot of time, that takes a lot of practice, and it will come as you're in the field. But we will get you that good intro so you're ready to jump in and say, yes, I do have experience. We work with different patterns and different design situations for both app and mobile, or excuse me, both app and the web. We do wireframing, mockups, prototyping. We use Figma for that. So we do all of that. That's a huge, awesome segment of the course. We do make sure that you're ready for the responsive world. So making sure that a website looks good on desktop and mobile. For example, we do a product design sprint where you actually create something totally innovative and brand new. Like Ralph mentioned, our students created a gamified to-do app that is not an RPG. Turns out the market has a lot of RPGs, but they don't really have anything that kind of appeals to the other people. So they kept saying, we're making Duolingo for to-dos. And so it was a lot of fun, and it was really cool to see their personalities and their ideas and their skills all come together to make a really awesome, innovative product. Like Ralph mentioned, Career Services has interviewing skills, portfolio development. This will be a web portfolio as well as a PDF portfolio. And then we also have a lot of learning to do about the field in general. Technology is always growing and changing and evolving. So what is on the cutting edge of UX? What will we have to design for in the future? For example, Alexa. I don't have one in here, like, thankfully. But Alexa, for voice, how do we design for voice? So we'll have lots of conversations about what's next in UX as well. And so key takeaways, things that you'll walk away, having in your new UX toolbox, a robust set of technical skills. You will be very well versed in conducting user research, including interviews, card sorting, usability testing. You will be well versed in being able to apply brand and make something feel engaging based on the branding that is provided. You'll be great at delivering presentations, whether it's a pitch or just sharing information. Key aspect of UX is storytelling. So we use presentations as an opportunity to share your story. And you'll also be able to understand code. This is actually one of the areas that sets DigitalCrafts apart from other UX boot camps. We firmly believe that in order to be ready for your first job, you need to have an understanding of code so that way you can work with your engineers. You need to speak their language so that way it's a comfortable working relationship and you guys can ultimately move more quickly for your product to be more successful. Soft skills, you will develop a deep sense of empathy. And that comes from active listening. So whether it's in class or with people in the real world, you will have very, very good listening skills and a deep sense of empathy, which is so key for user experience. You'll collaborate with me, with other members of the class, and with people in the real world. You will become a very effective communicator. Part of that is through that storytelling model. You will be well-versed in giving and receiving feedback and good feedback, not, you know, that looks nice. It'll be very targeted feedback, which is an absolutely essential skill in the real world. And then obviously adaptive problem solving. It is rare when things go exactly as planned. So what should we do and how should we act and how should we react when things don't go how we expected? The technical software that we use, Figma, it's really the hot product right now. It's great because you can install it on your computer or you can just use the web version. Very collaborative, very easy to use. We also use Miro, which is it's like a whiteboard collaborative software. It's just like a big space for sharing ideas. We use Maze for usability testing. There are also some other platforms that will be introduced, and you may choose to use them or not during the program, like Optimal Workshop and UX Tweak. We also use the Google Suite very heavily as a storing place and a great area for you to type things up and present, things like that. And then Canva for some of the visual aspects that we might need. And then this is a very, very short list of your deliverables, but you will have at least 3 case studies for your portfolio that are really well-rounded and make you very appealing to the field. And within those case studies, you may have personas, sitemaps, customer journey mapping, user flows, interactive prototypes, usability reports, heuristic evaluations, competitive analyses. I could literally keep blabbing for probably another 10 minutes, but you do have a really robust portfolio to take away with you from the program. All right, cool. So at that, I will open it up for questions. I did answer Vanya's question in the chat, but I'll say it just to make sure everybody can hear the answer. So the question was, do we have to have a Mac too? And while I do use Mac and the field tends to gravitate towards Mac a little bit more, you definitely do not have to. I had a student in the last cohort who was using a suitable Windows. You know, Ralph mentioned the different requirements. He was using a suitable Windows computer and he was able to complete everything perfectly fine. So yeah. What else? What other things do you want to know?
Yeah, we can either put them in the chat or there's a small amount of group here. So feel free to unmute yourself or you can ask questions as well with that. Yeah, but I do have like I guess a primer question, Brittany, if you don't mind. Does someone who's going to UX design need to learn how to code? Like programming?
That's such a great question. I mean, the short answer is no. However, you really need to understand what goes into coding. in order to, like I said, be able to have those conversations with your colleagues. I mean, the reality is you don't like a UX designer can put together a great prototype and it can exist on the internet, but without your engineers who know the code, you don't have an actual product. Now, I will also say that understanding code is a huge pro when learning the concept of accessibility, which is trying to make your apps and web and technology as inclusive as possible for all types of people, including people with permanent or temporary disabilities. So, for example, there's an aspect in code called headings. And the way that the user experience designer structures those headings should translate to how the coder will code those headings. So, you know, while you're not going to walk away being like, I coded this app, but you actually will code websites in our program. And we will give you that basic understanding. So that way, you know what is and isn't possible and how to build the best things for everyone, honestly.
Awesomeness. Someone sent me a question and said they are a graphic designer and they got a gap of 10 years due to family commitment. So if they were to enroll and complete the program, how difficult would it be for them to get a job or get back in the field?
Oh yeah. So you know, obviously with a gap, you know, there's this push in the field that's especially in the UX field, which is so empathetic, where gaps are not as important as they once used to be. And I think maybe Ralph, if we connect this person with student success, they may be able to kind of explore the gap part a little bit more. But if you have a graphic background, you definitely have a leg up. I actually started back in the day, I was a public educator and I'm a lifelong learner. Like I just love learning. So I took a course at my local community college that was called Intro to Digital Media. And that's when I first started learning about digital anything. And I fell in love with digital design. And one of my key pieces that I made, I used Illustrator to actually like make a Monopoly board, which is really cool. So having a graphic design background is definitely going to enable you to make stronger decisions in the UI world. So you might be able to like you already have a background in establishing hierarchy, understanding how typography works together, knowing which colors can invoke which types of emotions. So you may be more suited for roles that are what's called a UX/UI designer, which is someone who has both mentalities. And those roles are you know, really, really important. And oftentimes companies will try to use those roles as a way to save money, but that means that you can usually get a little bit more because you pack a double punch. So I definitely wouldn't let a gap stand in the way. And having that background in graphic design gives you a leg up in UX for sure. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I also got another question about the admissions process. I'll go ahead and answer that one. So the admissions process is fairly simple, and we have an awesome team to help you through it. So the first thing you would want to do, you could go to our website and you can click to apply to the UX design program. And once you do that, you will be able to we will get the notification and you'll be able to set up a admissions call with one of our enrollment coordinators, myself or someone else. And then we will reach out to you. As soon as we get that notification, we'll reach out to you just to see if you have any initial questions at that time. But after that, you know, you'll take this 15-question assessment. It's pretty simple, and 10 out of 15 is passing. So you have to pass that assessment, and it's open source. It's untimed, and so once you do that, then you go to the admissions call. this is not in any particular order, but at the admissions cost for us to get to know you a little bit better, to clarify anything that needs to be clarified. If you have any additional questions, if you, and we also want to set expectations in that call of what you can expect coming into the program. And so after you complete the assessment and that call, the next step is there will be an admissions decision. If you are accepted into the program, we will send you an email with a link to enroll into the class. And so that link, you'll click that link to enroll. And for UX design, the class starts May 2nd. Okay. And so you click that link to enroll. So you'll click UX design, month of May, and then you fill out the rest of the information. To secure your spot in that class, there is a refundable $250 deposit that is due, but we do have a discount available. It's um, 250 discount available if you enroll for early enrollment. And so if you enroll early, which is like 8 weeks, so you got some time, then you get a discount from that. And so after that, then you are basically good to go. Then you have to do, and then you have to go into the financing part. And so if you are planning to finance through a lender, we have a third-party lender called Climb Credit. They're listed on our website, and then the application is really simple. There's a user calculator on there, and you can get a estimated monthly what your estimated monthly payback would be based on different factors that you put in, and you can do lending through them. If you choose your own lender, you just have to let us. We can work with you on that. You have to let us know, but and we can work. Our finance team can work with you on that. The other way you can do it is paying upfront, of course, or you can go about doing it our four installment payment plan. Now, the four installment payment plan, as I said earlier, it is 25% of the tuition. So your first payment will be 2 weeks prior to the class starts, and then after that, there's a schedule of the payments. And so that's for financing, and so that's pretty much you're in the class. As regarding the intro course, you can start the intro course at any time. It's free. You can go into our website under the boot camps tab. It says start free learning, and so you can start your free learning for UX design intro course on that as well. Brittany just put in the chat to check out DigitalCrafts Intro course. There's a link to it right there. In regards to scholarships, we do have scholarships. You Belong in Tech scholarship for Black, Latinx, as well as women, and that's an automatic scholarship that is deducted from the tuition. I believe it is up $1,500 that can be deducted from your tuition. Then we have another one called the Builder Scholarship. Now the scholarships can't be stacked, so it'll be you have to do either or. The Builder Scholarship is where it's a 250 word essay where you fill out how you will use tech to better your community or the people around you, and that scholarship is up to $1,500 as well. We have another. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I'm getting direct messages and it's going kind of pretty fast. Uh, uh, Brittany, they said someone said thank you for the questions. You provided them with confidence in going forward. So that's awesomeness.
Yeah,
Um,
great.
is there any other questions regarding to our UX design program? I have one more question for you, Brittany, and then after that, I will like give like closing steps. But my question is, um, what is there a distinct difference between UX design and web development? This is a question I get a lot as an enrollment coordinator because it seems like for people who do some of the research, they're like, is there a difference between that and the web development? Is there any? Can you talk on that real quick, and that'd be like our
Yeah.
last question.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a huge difference. These are two different fields. They do require two very different sets of skills. I will say though that there are people we call them unicorns if they do have both skill sets. So, goals out there one day to become a unicorn. But with web development, you're essentially studying to become a web dev or an engineer, someone who is actually building. Now, what are they building? That's where UX comes in. UX works with your product managers or product owners, leadership, and we will build the design that gets handed off to engineers in web dev. And then they know what to build. And the great thing about that relationship, besides the fact that it's cross-functional, so you have different brains like working together to ultimately make something amazing. But the cool thing about that relationship is our students know a little bit of code. So when you're having those conversations, you're quick, effective, and it allows like the UX designers to have confidence when they're speaking with their engineer counterparts. So essentially UX is going to go ahead and make all the decisions on what gets built. And then the web dev is actually going to go ahead and build it, bring it to the world.
Awesomeness, awesomeness. Um, before I don't want to leave anybody out, is there any other questions? You can either speak it out loud, you can send me a chat. Is there any other questions? Okay. Well, I do want to say thank you for coming. If you are interested and would like to go forward with the process with Digital Crafts, you can email me at ralph@digitalcrafts.com. My email is there. Or if you have any other specific questions about the instruction, you can contact Brittany at brittany@digitalcrafts.com. Application, like I said, is very simple to start. You can go to our website and apply and start the application process there. Thank you once again so much for everyone who came. And we look forward to hearing from you and hopefully seeing you all in the future.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Awesomeness.